Hi, welcome back to 5 a Day. Today we are going to look at 5 questions from the prelim papers of the primary schools again. This first question is from Nanyang Primary 2020 Prelim Paper 2. Okay, let's take a minute to go through this question and highlight the important information. Okay, there are 3 types of fruit in a box. The ratio of the number of mangoes to the total number of apples and oranges was 2:5. The ratio of the number of apples to the number of oranges was 9:1. And there were 30 more apples than mangoes. Okay, after some mangoes were added into the box, 70% of the fruits in the box were mangoes. So for part A, how many mangoes were there in the end? Okay, to solve part A, let us just put all the information that we have in the question in a mathematical form. And just by looking at those numbers, it should give you an idea on how to solve this part. Okay, number of mangoes, let M represent the number of mangoes, to the number of apples and oranges combined. So A plus O for apples and oranges is 2:5. So under mangoes, you have 2. Apple and oranges combined, that's 5 units. Okay, total number of fruits in the box will be 2 plus 5, and that gives us 7. Okay, now let's go on to the next part of the information. Number of apples to the number of oranges was 9:1. Okay, so we are looking at this part now. Apples and oranges. So there is more information on that. Okay, and the number of apples to oranges is 9:1. And the total of apples and oranges here will be 9 plus 1, and that will give us 10 units. Okay, but we must know that this total here, total oranges and apples combined, is actually the total number is the same as the number of apples and oranges from the top when compared with mangoes. So let's take a note and remember this for now. Okay, let's go on to the next bit of info. There are 30 more apples than mangoes. So to be able to compare or look at the two ratios in a fair manner, we have to make some changes there. So this 5 and this 10, they're actually the same number. They represent the same number. Whether is it 10 parts or 5 units, they represent the same number. So let's change this 5 parts and make it 10. So we can do that by multiplying by 2. And that will give us 10. So when you multiply that by 2, you must do the same for the rest. And that will, for mangoes, we will have 4. And the total number of fruits times 2 again, 7 times 2, that will give us 14. Alright, so this will be the new ratio that we are looking at now. Box this up in red. Highlight it. Alright. Okay, now let's go back to the sentence. There are 30 more apples than mangoes. So let's take a look. So now the ratios, they are now all equivalent if we were to compare the top one, which I've boxed up, and this one, which I'm boxing up. Okay, so out of all these 10 parts, 10 units of apples and oranges, 9 of them are apples. So 9 units are actually apples. Okay, and if we were to look at the ratio at the top for mangoes, we know there are 4 units of it is mangoes. So if we were to take the number of apples minus away the number of mangoes, that will give us 30, because there are 30 more apples than mangoes. So 9u minus 4u, that will give us 5u, and 5u will be 30. So from there we can calculate what is 1 unit. So 1 unit will be 30 divided by 5. Okay, and that will work out to be 6. So 1 unit is actually 6. But that's not the answer that we are looking at first. So they wanted to know how many mangoes were there in the end. Okay, so mangoes, at first there are 4u. So right now we have to take 4 times 6, and that will give you 24. So that's at first. There are 24 mangoes. Okay, now, so we have started with 24 mangoes. Okay, at the end of it, some mangoes were added to the box. So we have to put the next bit of information in the mathematical form. After adding the mangoes, 70% of the fruits are mangoes. So here, we write a new ratio because the ratio has now changed with new mangoes being added. So mangoes to apples and oranges, 70% of it will be mangoes, leaving 30% apples and oranges combined. Alright, and again, now they will get a new ratio. This is the new ratio. Total fruits, 7 plus 3, again, 10 parts. Alright. Okay, but throughout the entire thing, only mangoes were added. No extra apples or oranges were being added. So therefore, this 3 parts here that of apples and oranges is actually the same as the apple and oranges, the 10 units of apple and oranges from the earlier section, what we have calculated earlier. Alright, so let us find out how many apple and oranges are there first. So in this case, apples and oranges combined from earlier on is actually equals to 10u. So we take 10 times 6. That will give us 60. Alright, so apple and oranges, there are 60 of them. So from here, from this new ratio that we are looking at right now, is actually 3 parts of the new ratio. So from this new ratio, 3 parts, apple and oranges combined is actually 3p, and that will be equals to 60. So 1p will be equals to 20. 60 divided by 3, that will give you 20. So mangoes, how many mangoes are there in the end? Mangoes, 7p. That will give you 7 times 20. So that's 140. So that's your answer for part A. Okay, now to solve part B. Okay, what do they want? How many mangoes were added in the box? So that will be easy. To find the number of mangoes added, I take the number of mangoes at the end, which is 140, minus the mangoes that we had earlier on, which is 24, and that will give me 116 mangoes were added. Alright, so that will help you solve your part B. Have you gotten the correct answer? Hi, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you like the step-by-step guide to solving this question. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. See you again then. Bye.